Question. Real estate in California. What the Seriously, can someone help? What's an escrow? What's an ARM? What is an REO? What is pre-approval? Can I get pre-approval? Why is inventory so low? Why are interest rates so high? Oh, interest rates not so high? How low is low? How not so high is right.
Before you go down the road of questions, get expert help at championsofhome.com. California Association of Realtors. Who's your realtor?
Do you have a dark curiosity? Follow and listen to Heart Starts Pounding on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Café Anyway! Welcome.
It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 3,299. 3299. That's how many episodes.
Daily Podcast.
We've done a lot of episodes. That's why the show is called Mike's Daily Podcast. My name's not Paul, it's Mike. And I do the show live from Café Anyway, somewhere in podCastro Valley, and I strive to... Oh, there's a cat! Hey, come on, Rocky. Rocky's jumping up here, everyone.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We have Rocky the cat joining us here, but you can't see him because we're doing the audio thing.
Daily
But if you want to see the video thing,
Podcast.
you can go to mikesdailypodcast.com. Yes, mikesdailypodcast.com. And there's a link that says click here to watch the video. All right. What's been going on with you? Have you been cutting down on driving places because of the gas prices? Oh, we're going to see Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. We're going to hear from them in a little bit. Yes. But have you been... So my lovely lady friend will borrow my car and take it, maybe 20 miles away and come back. She's got to go to Kaiser or something. Oh my gosh. Kaiser's gotten so bad since I used to have Kaiser. I never heard of Kaiser till I got to the Bay Area. Well, guess what? It started here in the Bay Area because of the guy whose last name was Kaiser, who helped build those big ships for the war. And he employed all these people, and he said, hey, you know what? I've got all these people living around here, and I'm taking care of them so that they are good employees. I'll start a health plan for them, and it Kaiser Permanente began, which actually refers to the concrete that he made for building stuff.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I know a gross oversimplification of that story having to do with our civilization, but the podcast picture doesn't have to do with any of that. It's not even of Richmond where all this took place, all this started. No, it's a little bit further south, and let's go with podCastro Valley or Niles. We'll go somewhere in Niles. There we go. But I do need to get up to Richmond again soon. There's some neat little microbreweries and places to hike and things to see if you go there around the Miller Knox area. The late great Basil the Boxer and I went there many a time. Rocky the cat, who is in the video right now, he never met Rocky. I've told him a lot about him. But we got Rocky about 2 years after we lost Basil, so... But, what a great... And I almost got a dog today, speaking of Niles. So I was walking around this area that you see in the Mike's Daily Podcast picture, which you can find at mikesdailypodcast.com. I was walking around there today, and this dog, out of nowhere, shows up. And he's walking past me, and I go, hi. Friendly. I'm sort of was it St. Thomas? I'm one of those saints that was really big with the animals. And I'm not calling myself a saint. Wasn't that the theme to The Saint with Roger Moore? I gotta watch that again. It's on Amazon Prime. I might watch that soon. We're watching Campion with Peter Davison.
The word of dog.
or is it Pete Davidson? One is the young kid that gets into trouble all the time with the Kardashians, and the other one is the older British actor that was Doctor Who once upon a time back in the day. But the late great Basil the Boxer was trying to. He told me something just then, his word of dog, and it did not help in my trying to figure out the conundrum of which I find myself. But yes, there is that wondrous thing of going for cool hikes all around the Bay Area, and the late great Basil the Boxer and I did go on many a great hike. The cat and I, not so much. Cats don't really like to hike. I've seen the videos. Have you seen this of cats that go on hikes, that go walking with their owners? Oh my gosh. How is that done? Doesn't happen with this cat.
Mathewsman Park.
It is a Mathewsman Park of fascinating information.
The front panel will close automatically. Please remain seated at all times.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about Gen Z and millennials. Back to the dog story. Finish that story up. So this dog comes up to me out of nowhere, and it's got one of those collars that beeps, and I think it gives an electrical shock to the dog if it barks. So this dog is really mellow because it's got one of those. I don't like those collars, I'm going to be honest, but some people are like, you don't understand, Mike. My dog barks all the time. My neighbors hate me. So this dog I don't see the owner anywhere. I don't see any Gen Zers or millennials or Gen Xers or boomers or anybody walking around. So I start walking with this dog and a young couple, maybe millennials.
Stage fright.
Well,
oh yeah, this is
a secret.
The story of being on a radio.
If you ever find yourself on the air and you feel a little nervous, just imagine that you're speaking to one specific person.
Speaking to one person.
Which, in fact, is probably the case here.
That's right. Thank you, Johnny. And Bailey. Yeah, so there's a young couple walking by. It wasn't Johnny Fever and Bailey. Sadly, Johnny Fever's gone. I think Jan Smithers, who played Bailey, is still with us, but Howard Hessman passed away. But yes, then this young couple says, "What a cute dog. Is that your dog?" And I go, "No, this dog just suddenly came out of nowhere." And I took the collar off the dog because I didn't know what it was doing to the dog. And they said, "We've seen this dog before. There's a guy that walks along here all the time, and perhaps this dog belongs to this guy, but we don't. Where is that?" Thankfully, shortly after this was said, the guy showed up. And he said the dog just got away from him on this trail. I guess they can be off leash on this trail, supposedly. As we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Meritopia.
Anyway.
Café Anyway. But I almost had a dog for a second, and it was for about 5 minutes taking care of this dog. I was considering, should I get a dog again? Rocky the cat, should I get a dog again? I'm seriously considering it, and that's maybe what the word of dog was from the late great Basil the Boxer today. But back to Gen Zers and millennials, they're doing all kinds of interesting things. Consumers are grappling with these higher costs. The gas, and then that affects groceries, housing, health insurance. All those things are expensive. Half of single Americans are going on fewer dates, or they are choosing less. Ouch. The cat got me good. Choosing less expensive activities because of these rising costs. 48% of Gen Z adults, almost half, and a little bit less than that of millennials, said that the high price of dating gets in the way of reaching their financial goals. A single date costs a Gen Z adult $205 on average. And for millennials,
Mike's Out of Left Field recording.
This is Out of Left Field. Fascinating.
Recording everything captures actions that will never again be repeated.
But millennials are spending about $252 on average. The typical Gen Z American went on about 9 dates last year. That puts their annual amount at roughly $1,845 that they're spending. 35% of the dating app users have paid for one of the platforms. They're actually paying for the apps as well. So the average paying date app user spent about $19 a month. But what else are Gen Z and millennials doing? Well, trying to get Gen Z out to sea, that's something. Cruises are being marketed on TikTok videos. They're tagging the hashtag cruise. And these videos have been viewed nearly 40 billion times. One cruise influencer made about $350,000 a year. I don't think I ever had a job ever that even made a tenth of that. Well, maybe a tenth of that, but
a fine article.
This is a fine article that I'm telling you about. But one cruise influencer made that much a year, sponsored with the trips, being sponsored with the trips and the fees and the affiliate bookings. Those are the commission on cruises sold. And YouTube, TikTok ad revenue. They make bucks with the cruise industry, even though the cruise industries are having a difficult time because of the fuel costing so much money. The fuel costing a lot for airlines as well. So all of these travel type businesses are hurting at this point with the current high gas prices. But people are traveling. In fact, the FIFA World 2026 tickets for the World Cup, rather, are the hottest asset.
The Fascinating Material Project.
FM Project.
In sports. And this is fascinating. Getting tickets to Taylor Swift is easier than getting tickets to the World Cup. That's what it's come to. It's coming to the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, the largest, most in-demand sporting event in history. It has expanded the field to 48 teams, up from 32. That means more matches, more host cities, more fans chasing a finite number of seats.
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
Which is me telling you that the face value ticket for the tournament, which runs over the span of a month, can range up to $1,000. Airlines, hotels, short-term rentals are all lining up for what could be the multi-billion-dollar tourism wave caused by the FIFA World Cup. And perhaps you would like to pretend you're a soccer star or a running star. The $500 Adidas sneaker that Sebastian Saw wore while smashing the world record at the London Marathon recently is now on resale sites for $4,000. The Adidas Adizero Adios Pro Evo 3 sneakers were available for pre-sale the day after the race, and they sold out almost instantly. People love them shoes. They go nuts over the shoes. I don't get it. Like the people go nuts over the purses. I don't get it. Or that weird doll. The thing that I can't pronounce anymore because I don't remember
I
it.
just don't know how you do it.
Oh, thank you.
Talk into the mic and your voice goes out through the wires. And once a week, whether you need it or not, somebody comes in here and gives you a check for $38.
$38! Woohoo! Let's spend it on a date. All the 48% of Gen Z adults not dating anymore because of the high price of dating getting in the way of reaching their financial goals. But this is something interesting. The hottest place to grab a drink may be your place, with the average price of the cocktail. An average cocktail price in the U.S. is about $13.61. That means more than half are more expensive and more than half are less expensive. So right there in the average area, people are pre-gaming like college students to save the cash. Nearly 1/3 of people who had drinks in the past 3 months said that they pre-drink to avoid shelling out money later. You know, my dad used to do that. My dad back in like the 30s and 40s as a teenager, they go out drinking. They drink before they went to the dance hall on the
Hey kids,
thing.
It's me.
With
Do-Re-Mi the Clown.
Do-Re-Mi the Clown might have been there too. No, Dad went to a big dance hall that was on a pier out there. I think it might have been Santa Monica Pier or the old Pacific Pier, or what was the one that's in between Venice Beach and that old timey place that the piers got washed away, and their surfers would surf in and out of the chunks of debris. That place, when that was a working pier, I think there was a big dance hall at the end, a big, beautiful building, rather, that people would hang out at and meet, and Dad would be smashed by the time he got there. So Dad shared some interesting stories with me. Pier next to Santa Monica that gone. Let's see. There was a the Rebel by Pacific. It's just telling me about the Pier Bridge, Santa Monica Pier. It got confused. See? Ocean Park Pier. Thank you. You all knew the answer before me. Ocean Park Pier. And there is an interesting documentary about that too, that I've caught a little bit of, and that's where I've seen the surfers surfing in and out of the bits of debris of that pier. Okay. I want to tell you that I did not do a podcast on yesterday, because of Star Wars. The big Star Wars day. Now, I am not a fan of Star Wars now because I'm old, but I am old enough to tell you that I was just a kid when I went to see Star Wars at the Groman Chinese Theater with my grandma, who fell asleep. She fell asleep through the whole darn thing. Good for her. But I was blown away. I loved the characters. I was already into any movie that had quirky, interesting, bizarre, creative characters back then. And then all my friends were talking about it, and we were consumed with it, and people were bringing the little toys from it to school, and people were wearing cool shirts from it. So it was the thing. When your parents or your grandparents, if you're super young and your parents tell you about the good old days when Star Wars came out, let me tell you, it was big. It was, I guess, Harry Potter, what the kids or the millennials dealt with growing up with it when they got into the whole Harry Potter. It was woo! So some of you were celebrating Star Wars Day. Some of you get into the later Star Wars stuff, the Mandalorian and all of that. Okay, good. Good job. Anyway, Café Anyway, the thing is, thank you for being here. And we do have some weird characters here at Café Anyway, like this person. Hello, my friends, this is Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. I have one of these snow globes, but it's actually representing the snow that's falling on the snow planet known as Ha. Mike Matthews. No, don't say that, because
we love you, Mike.
Disney will capture you and put you in one of the dungeons there on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. So you rephrase that. Better do that, Chely. Okay, Mike Matthews, it's just a snow globe that explodes, Mike Matthews. Chely Shoehart and her exploding snow globes. That is much better. Okay. We also were celebrating yesterday, so we took the day off, International Respect for Chickens Day. It is on May 4th, a day to promote compassion and respectful treatment of chickens and other domestic fowl. United Poultry Concerns, that's the name of the organization. United Poultry Concerns started on this day about 21 years ago, actually. Karen Davis started United Poultry Concerns.
The interesting thing about the president is that
Does he eat chicken?
Eats really bad food, which is McDonald's, and then, candy and Diet Coke. He drinks the Diet Coke all times. He has the constitution of a deity. I don't know how he's alive, but he is.
I don't know how he's alive, but he is.
Because he has the constitution of a deity. Okay, so here's the thing. This is not just for chickens, United Poultry Concerns, but also for other domestic farm birds like turkeys and ducks. Raising these birds for food production, experiments, education, and entertainment, the International Respect for Children's Chickens Day aims to reduce the pain and plight of these birds by raising awareness about their condition among the public. The day also emphasizes the importance and benefits of a vegan lifestyle. So basically, they don't want you to eat chicken. I, as are many people, am enamored with the idea of having chickens and then getting all those eggs. Even though I don't really eat eggs anymore. But chickens, we are thankful to you because you have fed us. You have woken us up early in the morning when we needed to be woken up. And there's another day to...
See, because the people who are loud and confrontational and all,
yes.
They don't have any problem speaking their mind. That's what they do. They speak their mind whether you want to hear it or not. But it's the other people who need a voice. And they need an advocate. And if we love one another, we can learn to advocate for one another.
That's right.
And so, I'm always expressing what I think, but I haven't heard from you on this. Well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Meetings would go better if somebody stopped and asked the folk who are sitting around the table quiet, what do you think about this? You haven't said much. Let's hear what you're thinking. Because sometimes the best wisdom comes from the person who's reluctant to speak. Sometimes those still waters run deep. Mm-hmm. It's the folk making all the noise that, okay, we've heard from you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. But now let's hear from somebody else.
That is 90% of all the influencers, all the people making money on cruise ships and everything. They are those people. They talk. They're not those people. What the late, great Pastor Paul Shepherd was saying was that they're the silent people we should be listening to. We should listen to what they have to say. I like how he said how the still waters run deep. The quiet waters run deep, and they have something important to say. But the American Academy of Dermatology established another important day yesterday that we observed and did not do a podcast. Melanoma Monday. It falls on the first Monday in May, and May 4th this year, 3 weeks before National Safe Sun Week, to raise awareness of the symptoms, causes, and prevention of the disease. And the day has come to be symbolized by wearing black clothing. Melanoma, the deadliest type of skin cancer, is developed by 1 out of every 50 Americans at some point in their lifetime. So it is something big. It's something important.
Ginormous.
To remember. There are many ways to prevent melanoma. So take extra time to learn how to reduce your risk. And let's see here. It goes, it's interesting here. It says, melanoma, the most serious type of skin cancer, didn't make its way into recorded history until the 5th century BC, when Hippocrates, who first wrote about the disease, described it with the Greek terms melas and oma, meaning dark and tumor, respectively. There was little to no forms of treatment. But from what I have heard, sunscreen is very important. Limiting your exposure to ultraviolet light and ultraviolet radiation and sunlight exposure.
Magnification.
Today, though, we know that many genetic factors like fair skin, family history, and eye color all can indicate increased risk for melanoma beyond simple sun exposure. Though there is a general understanding of how to prevent, identify, and treat melanoma today, research on the disease is still ongoing. Look who else... wow, that was interesting. What was that?
Magnification.
Bizarre. I was kind of singing like I was in a musical. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, it's very important to remember to wear your sunscreen and to wear a hat. Excellent. Hey, Rocky the cat is still hanging out. Well, I would like to say that I think we all have to get ready for this summer and maybe prepare ourselves for high gas prices. And how do you do that? What are things to do? I guess one of the things is trying to figure out how to limit how much you use the car, if that is possible. If there is, I guess the people that make the electric vehicles, they're smiling. But then, of course, to make the electricity sometimes requires the fossil fuels. But it's weird how it all comes back around and everything gets influenced and ties back to oil in some way. So I guess the only thing I can say is Tay-Tay.
All right, now, Tay-Tay, my favorite.
And trying to distract you by saying, if you would like to call in and talk about anything that we covered on this podcast, anything at all, here's the number to call.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
I really enjoy a show that Peter Davidson did, and I'm just going to go with Peter Davidson. That's the correct name of the British actor who was Doctor Who at one point. He did this detective named Campion, and he's got this sidekick named Lug. And I think he only did 2 seasons of this show. It's a detective show that happened just after he left Doctor Who. I think it was in the late 80s. And my lovely lady friend and I are enjoying it so much. It actually might be on BritBox or Acorn. One of those two. So just watching that, sometimes you need a little goofy, weird distraction. It's the word I wanted to use. I got distracted trying to think of the word distraction. What else could distract me? Let's see. Kombucha. That's perfect. Okay, and I think that's supposed to be sort of healthy for you. All right, with all things having to do with Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. Thank you for listening to this wonderful Disjointed show. Wasn't it a hoot?
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.